Jarbidge Mountains are a gateway to a Bigfoot sighting hotspot, Idaho's Sawtooth Mountains. I search for Bigfoot in the Sawtooth Mountains often, and so does a friend of mine, who is an outdoorsman and also searches for Bigfoot, Anthony Moffat. Because Jarbidge borders the Sawtooths, I knew when I heard about the 2014 Bigfoot sightings, I had to take a closer look at the history of this very remote forest on the south side of the Sawtooth Mountains. I visit the area to take a good look around for Bigfoot evidence, and here is some of the history that I dug up on Jarbidge and the Bigfoot phenomenon. If you get a chance, read the survival story of Rita Cretin. I guess it could also be pronounced Cretin. The last name spelling Chretien. It's an amazing survival story of Rita Cretin, the Canadian woman who survived 47 days in the Nevada wilderness. She was located south of a ghost town called Roland on a spur road of a maze of dirt roads in the rugged Jarbidge country. It is not just rugged terrain, it is brutal there in the winter. Some of the roads don't open until late June. Rita Cretin and her husband may have ended up on this impassable road in March. I'm sure it was impassable in March. Most likely they're on a scenic tour of the history and did not realize that the roads are impassable that type of year. There's the big silver mines, an old ghost town. Jarbidge is still inhabited, and there was also the history of the last stagecoach robbery that happened in the continental United States. You need to do your homework and make sure that roads are passable the time of year that you're going there, so you don't end up in Rita's situation, having to survive in a remote location for 47 days. Jarbidge Wilderness is arguably one of the most remote places in the lower 48. There's many legends, Shoshone and Piute, that come out of the Jarbidge area. It is about a giant, kind of like a ghost story, but maybe it has some relation to Bigfoot. They call it Tsawhawbitts. Tsawhawbitts lived in a rugged, remote canyon. He was a very large and hairy creature, and he ate the native Shoshone and Piute who wandered into the country. So maybe they were a delicacy, a food of love. I shouldn't use the word hate. He ate them. He had plenty of hiding places in the basalt cliffs, deep ravines, and lava tubes. There's an Indian legend that they exacted revenge on him by burying him in a cave by piling rocks over the entrance. They never wanted him to escape. But they also never wanted to wander into that canyon again. And so legend has it, they never went into the Jarbidge country ever again. I have often wondered if the Tsawhawbitts still wander there, or if they are now what we call Sasquatch.
Kelly!
1850 was a very good year in the history of Nevada. The first major discovery of gold in the territory happened that year. It happened in the gravels of Gold Canyon. This is near present-day Dayton. The miners who worked the Gold Canyon during those years were plagued by a very heavy bluish-gray sludge that clogged their pans and sluice boxes. Eventually, they realized that the heavy blue clay at the bottom of their pans was rich with silver.
Alright, I don't know what that is. Can you see it?
Yeah, you need to get out of the back. Alright.
Looks like something's sitting there, but I don't know what it is. Right here? In the middle?
Leave the camera on him for a while.
See if it moves.
Mm-hmm.
See, it kind of looks like he's sitting there. Like that's his... Does it look like anything to you, or is it just my eyes?
It looks like something to me. I think we should leave the camera on it for a little while and see what it does.
Okay.
If it'll move for us or what.
Should I zoom in a little bit more?
Sure. Zoom in a tad. Yeah, let's leave it there. If it's an animal, it'll eventually move.
It just looked like that's its head right there. And that's its body. It's like sitting there. I don't know. I about freaked out when I was holding it by my hand because I couldn't hold it still enough to really get a good look at it. I'll have Caleb look at it. But I think it would have moved by now if it was a Bigfoot sitting there. It looks like his head keeps moving, but the whole thing is shifting because it zoomed in so far.
By the late 1850s, the source of all that gold and silver was discovered near the head of the canyon. The miners had finally stumbled on the famous Comstock silver lode. The ore bodies of the Comstock lode surpassed everyone's wildest
I
dreams.
can't tell what it is.
A total of 16 major bonanzas were discovered within the first few years of the operation. Most within 600 feet of the surface. A river of silver poured out of the mines.
It does look like the head moves.
I know, it's creepy, huh? That's why I started going, I need a tripod. I was like, I can't hold it still. But it's still sitting there. Don't you think that it should have got up and walked off by now?
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, it's still interesting. Whatever it is.
I don't know where you're looking at.
Let's see. I'll zoom out a little bit.
Should have brought my phone.
Alright, right up there, see how those dark trees come down and there's some light green trees and light green trees on the end of it? Right up there, that's where he's sitting, or the rock is sitting, or stone. Huh?
Up by the triangular trees?
Yep, see how they kind of come down and then there's some green leaves on the edge of it? And there's some rocks at the very bottom of it. It's sitting just right there. I can see it from here with my eyes, now that I'm looking at it. See through here that I've zoomed out? That big rock that's square, right below the very bottom tree. It's just up and to the right of it a little bit, like 5 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just awesome looking. That's what I was looking at when I was freaking out, because I didn't have it zoomed in all the way. It's like, oh my gosh, it looks like something's sitting there.
It does.
But it's just still sitting there. There's no way it can hold still for that long. I don't know. That'd be so cool if it stood up and started walking away. But it's just still sitting there. Come look at this. Doesn't it look like something sitting there?
Yeah, it does.
but it hasn't moved. It's just still sitting there. It's a stump, a rock.
That's what she had me grab the tripod
Yeah, that's
for,
what I
so
was
she
like,
could
oh my
steady
gosh.
on it.
Because I kept zooming past it and over it and up and down, and I couldn't.
It does. In fact, it even almost seems like a big old gorilla sitting there.
I
That's
know.
his bottom leg and his shoulder and
yeah,
arm
that's
and his
what
head sitting out.
That's why I was like freaking out, because it looked
I
like
told
shiny.
Jenny start filming it and we can see if it moves.
Yeah, so far it hasn't moved. So, and it's been 6 minutes.
God, you're clear the hell up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, these cameras zoom.
I mean, you're 90% up that mountain.
Yeah. And I can see it from here with my eyes up there. I know what I'm looking at. I can still see it from here. It's just,
I'm trying to put 2 and 2 from the picture.
okay, see the trees, the pine trees that come down to a point?
Yep.
And there's green trees on both?
Yep.
Right below that last green tree, in the middle of that green, is that black spot. That's him.
Ah.
Or it.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I got some good aerial.
Good.
Almost used the whole battery up, man. I don't know if the old couple liked it, but
Yeah.
They said there was elk up here. He said, have you seen any elk yet? And he said they're up here.
Because they're there.
I don't know, maybe it's up there stalking elk.
That's what I was thinking. They do like elk.
We think.
did you tell them who we were?
No. I
You can
really
even see
haven't
its
told
face.
anybody what I'm doing.
It even looks like it has a face. Side
Yeah.
profile.
It's
Get better
it's
at
just
that.
deceiving. It's actually
Give me a big
it's
like
rock.
Is it rock?
It's a big rock. It's part of a cliff face. That's a big, huge rock. This is a part of it up above it. That's back behind the trees.
Still cool though.
It is cool.
We'll just.
The huge strikes at the head of the Gold Canyon spawned the famous mining camp known as Gold Hill. For 30 years, the town of Gold Hill was in its heyday. It's the site of the greatest silver discovery in history. The town was giddy with excitement. Along with nearby Virginia City, Gold Hill served as the hub of business and society in early Nevada. More recently, Gold Hill has experienced another kind of excitement. On September 15th, 1980, just outside the city limits, a security guard for the local mining company encountered a Bigfoot. Nevada has never really been known as Bigfoot country. Out of all the states in the West, it has the fewest sightings. One of the earliest recorded sightings in the West took place in Nevada during the 1860s. Kind of interesting. A party of frontiersmen encountered a large man-like creature carrying a slain rabbit. The creature fled as they approached, and their hunting dogs refused to pursue it. More recently, Bigfoot-like creatures have been sighted in the Diamond Mountains near Eureka on the Nevada test site. There was also a sighting that took place in January 23rd, 1980. And then the most recent Bigfoot sighting in the fall of 2014, 3 deer hunters were harassed by 3 Bigfoot for 8 nights out of a 9-day hunting trip. The first night was the worst, where they were actually chased out of their camp. They drove 28 miles back to town, come back in the morning, and relocated to the camp to a place that they felt much safer camping. And then during the next 7 days, they had sightings, day and night sightings of these creatures. The Jarbidge Mountains in northeastern Nevada are home to a legendary Bigfoot-like creature that the Shoshone Indians in the Piute named Tsawhawbitts. Tsawhawbitts in their language means cannibal giant. The local Shoshone Indians and the Piutes may have referred to these Bigfoot-like creatures as Tsawhawbitts, cannibal giants, but the nearby Nez Perce Indians, they refer to them as Jahabich. It is indeed the name where Jarbidge came from. The area was called Jahabich for quite some time, and then the corruption of the name was changed to Jarbidge. The Jarbidge Mountains had a dark and ominous reputation among the early Native American Indians. The Bigfoot-like creature who haunted the canyon was said to eat men. Needless to say, the Indians tended to avoid the area. The Jarbidge Mountains are home to another type of mystery and legend, a fabulous lost gold mine. The Jarbidge Mountains were first prospected during the 1870s, but very little gold was discovered in the streams. Consequently, prospectors didn't spend much time searching for the lode of deposits in the nearby mountains. But then in 1890, a prospector known as Ross discovered incredibly rich gold bearing somewhere in the heart of the Jarbidge Mountains. Ross had been prospecting the area for some time when he finally made this discovery. Unfortunately, he was unable to trace the gold to its source before a snowstorm forced him out of the mountains. On his way out, Ross met a local sheep herder named Rush Ishman. He worked for a nearby rancher. In his excitement, Ross told the sheep herder about his fabulous find. His plan was to return in the spring and stake his claim. The following year, Ishman returned to the Jarbidge Mountains with his herd of sheep. He decided to search for the location described by Ross, and lo and behold, he found it. He also found something else. Next to the rich bearing gold was a human skeleton. Undeterred, Ishman traced the gold uphill to a ledge of quartz, literally shot through with gold. He gathered a few of the richest samples and eventually returned to the ranch with his sheep herd. Here he showed the gold samples to his boss, John Pence. Unfortunately, Ishman was never able to return to the gold ledge. He died soon after his discovery. John Pence had actually seen and held Ishman's samples and therefore knew that a rich gold deposit existed somewhere in the Jarbidge Mountains. He searched for the ledge many times, but never found it. Just such an awesome place. Has a rich history of gold. The last stagecoach robbery happened in Jarbidge, and then there's a long history of what today most would describe as Bigfoot or Sasquatch. Some of the Native Americans called them Jahabich, and the others called them Tsawhawbitts. They respected and feared these creatures, stating that they were cannibal giants. I hope you enjoyed our expeditions to the Jarbidge Wilderness area. It used to be known as Tsawhawbitts, Jahabich, and now Jarbidge. Now you know some of the history and some of the Bigfoot sightings in the area. It is a gateway to the Sawtooth Mountains, which is also a Bigfoot sighting hotspot. So I don't have a hard time believing that there's something to the history of sightings, including the modern day sightings of Bigfoot in the area, the latest in 2014. I hope you keep coming along with us on our on-location Bigfoot sighting reports and Bigfoot sighting expeditions. Keep on watching. We're going to keep on squatching.